I took Methylene Blue for 30 days, and here's exactly what happened. The reason I decided to take Methylene Blue is because of all the great benefits that has been talked about Methylene Blue, of it improving focus, energy, great antioxidant, providing oxygen in the cells, so a lot of different benefits. So here is our experience. The very first week, I grabbed a couple different types of Methylene Blue. I grabbed one that was more capsule form, and then one that was liquid form. Now, when you're picking a Methylene Blue, you gotta be really careful. You wanna make sure it is a USP grade, so it's used for humans, because there's a lot of different Methylene Blue out there that could be used for cleaning supplies, so you definitely don't want to get that. And also that is pharmaceutical grade. This is very important because if it's not pharmaceutical grade and USP grade, it can have impurities and it can cause more damage than good. Now, I decided to start with the capsule form and did 10 milligrams a day. That's usually a good starting point when it comes with Methylene Blue. And I saw a slight improvement in my clarity. Nothing life-changing. I'm more clear, more focused. However, it didn't last very long. It would last about an hour or so of having that clarity and focus for them. Now, going into week 2, I still only saw very slight clarity and focus for me. And as far as the energy, just very subtle. And it also was probably just lasting maybe an hour of the noticing difference. And so this is when midway of week 2, I decided to switch over to the liquid form because it's definitely easier absorbed in the body and quickly absorbed. So I decided to use this. And I definitely did notice a difference between these two different products. And I noticed that it was this all of a sudden rush, a feeling of clarity and focus. Now, not drastic, but definitely notice a big difference between the two. It's almost like if you've ever taken an IV like with vitamins or done like a B12 shot, it's almost like that same experience. And I've done those. It's like this rush feeling of all of a sudden, wow, things are more clear. I feel a little bit more energy. That's what it felt like. Now, the thing is, it only lasts about an hour. And so I was like, okay, well, at least there's something to that. But the downfall is that the liquid form tastes nasty. And you put it in water. There's ways to mask it. Yes, you could put it in smoothies, I guess. You could also use like different electrolytes. That's one of my patients did that to help with the taste. But the other thing I don't like is, it turns your tongue blue. I don't know if you can see that. That's a little blue. It can also turn your teeth blue. It also will stain the cups that you're using. And also when you go to the bathroom, your urine is going to be more turquoise blue color. It's going to stain your toilet, which my wife didn't really appreciate that. And so there is some downfalls when you use more the liquid form versus the capsule form. But like I said, it was only literally lasting an hour, and I like things to last longer, and I like to see things more subtle versus drastic. So really Methylene Blue, I don't put it in the natural category. It's really still a chemical. It's still something that I would probably put in more of like a medication category than anything else. And so usually when I'm recommending certain supplementation nootropics to help my patients improve their focus and energy. Now, going into week 3, I decided to increase my dosage from 10 milligrams a day to 20 milligrams a day. And what I noticed here is that it did last longer. Instead of like about an hour, I did notice that clarity and focus and improved energy for about 2 hours. So I was like, okay, maybe the more dosage you take, the more it will last. Now, going into week 4, I decided to increase it again from going from 20 milligrams a day to 30 milligrams a day. And here's where I didn't really see a change of improvements. It kind of still stayed the same. And also the duration only still lasts about an hour and a half to 2 hours for me. As far as my patients, same thing. It lasts maybe about 2 hours, even when we increase the dosages. So I was like, is this something that I would recommend on a regular basis? Because even after the 4 weeks and still continuing on that same dosage, because I wouldn't recommend going much higher than that. I mean, you can go up to maybe about 40 milligrams, but you got to be careful here because especially if you are taking medications, it's something I would not recommend. So you got to be really careful with this. The patients that I was working with, they were not on medications. And so this is where I was okay doing it with them. Now, after this experience, would I recommend Methylene Blue? I would recommend Methylene Blue as a needed basis. Would I take it every day? I know I'm not going to take it every day, and it's probably something I wouldn't recommend my patients to take every day. Generally, I usually like to see what are things that are out of balance in your biochemistry and supplement that to help improve that biochemistry levels. Whereas this is something I feel like you can add on if you are really needing to hyper focus for a big project or something like that. This is something that can be beneficial, at least when it comes to what I specialize in, which is usually focus and productivity. Now, I know there's other benefits to Methylene Blue that might be used for longer duration, but one of the biggest things that I see, especially if you're dealing with focus and motivation issues and have ADHD symptoms, you should watch this video next.